Yes, good evening. Welcome back to our video channel on discussing accounting questions. Today I will continue with the mock paper section B of the first section. So this is the question is actually task 2. I'm just trying to keep this video a little bit smaller just to finish only these 8 requirements. This question continues from the previous task 1 of the section B, question number 36 on the consolidation. When you talk about consolidation, the related accounting standard is IAS 27, IAS 28, IFRS 3, IFRS 10, and also IFRS 13, that is fair value measurement. These are applicable, but however at our level we don't need to worry about specifically on this. We just need to know the technical aspect of how to answer these questions. Anyhow, so we will go to the task 2 here. So the task 2 is asking, does each of the following factors illustrate the existence of parent subsidiary relationship? If you try to recall, according to IFRS 3 business combination, how we justify the establishing the parent subsidiary relationship based on certain conditions. We have to establish that the parent has control over subsidiary. The control can be acquired by way of securing the voting rights, the majority of the voting rights of the subsidiary. When the parent will have the majority of the voting rights of a subsidiary, then that company said to have the control, then that company becomes parent. So if I draw down this, it will be like this. You have a parent P company and then you have S company. So when P company will have majority of voting rights. Now the question is how you will secure the voting rights. The initial way of securing voting right is by investing into an investee company, acquiring 51% or more of the equity shares So then now this then what happens is that mostly people prefer also ordinary shares. So there are other discussions or other arguments also to justify and establish the control, may not necessarily based on this 51% acquiring shares. You could also have the voting rights by virtue of an agreement. You can also have the voting right by having representing majority of the board members on the subsidiary. Likewise, the discussion goes on. If you in need of the detailed discussion on this, please visit my YouTube channel and look for consolidated financial statement. That has the detailed discussion. Let me go back to the question now. The first question, 50% of all shares and debts being held by an investor. Remember, I have said specifically 51% or more. So therefore, this cannot establish the control. So this cannot be known as parent-subsidiary relationship. So answer is no. Second one, greater than 50% of preference shares being held. No, preference share has nothing to do with the equity shares. This has to be predominantly ordinary shares. So you have to have ordinary shares, then only you can justify that. Control, obviously yes. As long as you can say that you have the control, then the parent subsidiary relationship exists. Greater than 50% of equity. Yeah, when you say greater than 50%, that means 51 or more equity shares being held by an investor. Obviously, that is one possibility. The fifth one, 100% of equity shares being held by an investor. Obviously, then that situation is known as a 100% owned or fully owned subsidiary. That is what it is set. Significant influence. No, significant influence is to establish associate, and that is discussed in IAS 28. So which a separate standard, and with that we cannot really say that we have control. Non-controlling interest, no. Having non-controlling interest cannot really establish that the non-controlling interest ownership. However, when you have non-controlling interest, then that means the parent company has the control. So therefore, when you are having for you to call yourself a parent, then the subsidiary, the investee company, will have non-controlling interest. Greater than 50% of preference shares and debt, no. Again, this also answer is no. Here they don't speak about equity shares. Thank you so much, and I will continue the remaining part of the question in another video once I found a convenient time. Have a nice week, evening, and good night.